Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. The impulse to help and its shadow. We are wired for connection, an intrinsic part of our human nature. We yearn to extend a hand to those in need, to offer support and kindness. It's in our DNA, this deep-seated desire to make a difference, to be there for one another. It's a beautiful thing, this impulse to help, a testament to our shared humanity. It speaks to the best parts of humanity, the parts that connect us and make us whole. But like all impulses, it casts a shadow, a side we often overlook. The drive to help, unchecked, can morph into something unsustainable, even detrimental to our well-being. We can become so consumed with the needs of others that we lose sight of our own, neglecting our personal health and happiness. This isn't about becoming cold-hearted or indifferent, but about finding balance. This is about protecting your energy, setting healthy boundaries, and choosing where to direct your precious resources wisely. This is about sustainable compassion, both for yourself and for the world around you. It's about recognizing that saying yes to everyone and everything is a surefire path to burnout and exhaustion. It's about understanding that true generosity flows from a place of wholeness, not depletion, ensuring we can continue to give. The perils of unbounded generosity. The desire to help is often rooted in noble intentions, a reflection of our innate humanity. We want to alleviate suffering, to make the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. We want to be seen as kind and compassionate, to be the light in someone else's darkness. We want to feel needed and valued, to know that our actions have meaning and impact. Yet constantly putting others' needs before our own comes at a cost, a toll that is often invisible but deeply felt. We risk emotional exhaustion, our reserves depleted by the constant outpouring of energy, leaving us drained and weary. Resentment can build, a bitter aftertaste to our well-intentioned actions, turning our kindness into a burden. Our own sense of self can become blurred, lost in the endless cycle of giving. We lose sight of our own needs and desires, subsumed by the needs of others, our own voice growing faint. We become a shadow of our true selves, our identities fragmented by the weight of others' expectations, struggling to find our own path. And perhaps most insidious of all, we risk fostering dependency in those we strive to help, creating a cycle that is hard to break. Instead of empowering them to find their own strength, we inadvertently create a dynamic where they become reliant on our constant support, hindering their growth and independence. The guardians of your well-being. Boundaries are not selfish walls erected to keep others at bay. They are essential guidelines that define where you end and another person begins. They are an act of self-respect, a declaration of your worthiness of care and consideration. Setting boundaries starts with self-awareness. Tune into your body's signals. Pay attention to the subtle cues that tell you when you're reaching your limit. Is your chest tight? Are you feeling resentful? These are your body's whispers, urging you to pull back, to create space. Communicate your boundaries clearly and compassionately. This isn't about aggression or blame. It's about stating your needs with honesty and respect. Remember, you are not obligated to explain or justify your boundaries. They are yours to set and to hold. Choosing your battles wisely. Not every plea for help requires our intervention. Sometimes, stepping back is the best way to truly assist. Learning to discern between those who genuinely need our support and those who are simply looking for someone to carry their burdens is crucial. This skill can save us from unnecessary stress and burnout. It's about recognizing that we cannot be all things to all people. We must prioritize our own well-being too. This discernment requires a shift in perspective, a deeper understanding of our own limits. Instead of asking ourselves, "Can I help?" we need to consider the broader implications. We begin to ask, Should I help? Is my involvement truly beneficial? Is this a situation where my intervention will truly make a difference? Or is it better to let things unfold naturally? Or am I enabling unhealthy patterns by constantly stepping in? Sometimes stepping back is the most loving choice. This isn't about turning a blind eye to suffering. It's about being wise with our energy. It's about directing our energy towards situations where our contributions will be most impactful. We must choose our battles wisely. It's about recognizing that sometimes the most compassionate act is to allow others the space to find their own strength. In doing so, we empower them to grow. Section 5. Quality over quantity. Making your help matter. When we spread ourselves too thin, our efforts become diluted. We end up offering fragmented pieces of ourselves, never fully present in any given interaction. This is the danger of prioritizing quantity over quality in our helping. By focusing on a select few causes or individuals, we can make a more profound impact. We can bring our full presence, our wholehearted attention to the task at hand. This is where true transformation occurs, both for the giver and the receiver. Choose to invest your energy in areas that resonate deeply with your values. Where does your passion lie? What injustices ignite your soul? Let these guideposts lead you to the places where your unique gifts can truly shine. Section 6. The oxygen mask principle. Self-care as a prerequisite. We've all heard the flight attendant's instructions. Secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others. This principle applies not just to airplane safety, but to the very act of living a compassionate life. We cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation upon which all other acts of giving are built. When we neglect our own needs, we deplete our reserves, leaving us emotionally and physically bankrupt. Make time for activities that nourish your soul. Whether it's a walk in nature, a hot bath, or simply curling up with a good book, prioritize activities that replenish your energy and bring you joy. Section 7. The power of no, a complete sentence in itself. Learning to say no is an act of self-preservation. It's a way of honoring our limits, of recognizing that we cannot be everything to everyone. It's a skill that requires practice and courage, particularly for those of us conditioned to prioritize the needs of others. Start small. Decline requests that don't feel aligned with your values or energy levels. You don't owe anyone an elaborate explanation. A simple "thank you for thinking of me, but I'm unable to commit at this time" is sufficient. Remember, saying no to one thing often means saying yes to something else. It's about creating space for the things that truly matter, for the people and activities that light you up. Section 8. Embracing your limits. Sustainable giving starts with self-preservation. We are not superhuman. We have limits. Embracing this truth, not with resignation but with radical self-acceptance, is essential to living a sustainable life. When we push ourselves beyond our limits, we risk burnout, resentment, and a diminished capacity to show up for others. It's in the moments when we honor our need for rest, for replenishment, that we become a wellspring of sustainable compassion. Recognize that your worthiness is not contingent upon your ability to help everyone. You are enough, just as you are. Your value comes from within, not from the external validation of constantly giving. Section 9. The ripple effect. A world transformed by conscious compassion. When we prioritize our own well-being, we create a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves, touching lives in unexpected ways. By modeling healthy boundaries and self-care practices, we give others permission to do the same, fostering a culture of mutual respect. Imagine a world where individuals feel empowered to prioritize their well-being and where self-care is celebrated. where compassion flows freely, not from a place of obligation, but from a place of wholeness and genuine care. This is the world we create when we choose to lead with love and discernment, when we recognize that true generosity begins with self-care and extends outward. Section 10. Conclusion: you can't pour from an empty cup. The world needs your compassion. It needs your unique gifts and your willingness to make a difference. But it needs you whole. It needs you replenished. It needs you to prioritize your own well-being so that you can show up as your most authentic, compassionate self. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup first. Tend to your own needs with the same love and care you so freely offer to others. Only then can you truly make a lasting impact, both in your own life and in the world around you. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for joining me today on this journey.